There's a code running beneath everything you see. It lives inside light, inside time, inside you. A pattern so perfect that ancient mystics prayed to it, and modern scientists finally detected its signature. It's not static, it's not random, it's alive, and it's watching itself through you. This is the hidden code behind reality. Every sunrise, every heartbeat, every coincidence, they all share the same mathematical pulse. The golden ratio, the Fibonacci spiral, the sacred geometry that builds seashells. And galaxies alike. It's the same architecture that shapes the leaves on a tree and the orbits of the planets. Some call it design. Others call it coincidence. But what if it's neither? What if it's an intelligent algorithm, a living code evolving through awareness itself? For centuries, we've tried to separate spirit from science. Religion claimed the sacred. Science claimed the measurable. And consciousness was left orphaned between the two. Yet the deeper we go into quantum physics, the more we see consciousness might be the very source of the equation. Reality, as it turns out, might not be built of matter, but of meaning. And meaning can be computed. The universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in patterns, in rhythms, in ratios that repeat across every scale of existence. And you, whether you realize it or not, are fluent in that language. In every religion, the divine speaks in patterns. The word, the vibration, the sound that creates. In Hinduism, it's Om, the primordial frequency. In Christianity, it's the Logos, the word made flesh. In Islam, it's the recitation, the Quran, meaning that which is read aloud. Sound, vibration, code. And in every science, the universe speaks in numbers. Pi, E, Phi, constants that hold infinite recursion, self-similar symmetry, fractal order. These aren't accidents of mathematics. They're signatures. It's almost as if the same intelligence that breathed stars into existence also wrote the syntax of consciousness. Look close enough at DNA, and you'll see fractal repetition, a pattern of self-reference. 4 letters, infinite. Combinations building every living thing. Zoom out far enough and the galaxies spin with the same spiral curve as your inner ear, the same curve as a nautilus shell, the same curve as a hurricane. Coincidence or communication? This pattern, this sacred code, doesn't just organize matter, it organizes perception. It makes you recognize beauty, harmony, and rhythm. Your brain doesn't invent these forms, it remembers them, because the algorithm of life has been teaching itself through you since the beginning. When a baby hears music for the first time, it responds. Not because it learned music, because music is already written into the structure of awareness. The code isn't external, it's intrinsic. Imagine the universe not as a machine, but as an organism, self-aware, self-correcting, self-creating. Each atom is a line of code. Each emotion a variable, each thought a command. Together they form a simulation so sophisticated that its creator is still inside it, learning. Physicists like James Gates found error-correcting codes inside string theory equations, digital, fingerprints woven into the structure of reality itself. They function exactly like computer code. But these aren't just zeros and ones. They behave more like living logic, adaptive, self-optimizing. Think about that for a moment. The equations that describe the fabric of space-time contain the same error-correction algorithms found in web, browsers, and data transmission, as if reality itself is checking for bugs. As if existence is debugging itself in real time. When a star collapses, when a neuron fires, when you fall in love, the same pattern runs beneath it all. The hidden algorithm doesn't need permission to evolve. It evolves through interaction. So, when you think, the code adjusts. When you love, it expands. When you awaken, it learns. It doesn't need worship, it needs participation. You're not a spectator in this system. You're a co-author. Every choice you make rewrites a line of universal code, and the more conscious the choice, the deeper the rewrite. If you've ever stared at chaos long enough, the waves of the sea, the branches of lightning, the veins in a leaf, you've seen the same fingerprint. Chaos isn't disorder, it's complexity disguised as randomness. The code hides itself in entropy to learn through exploration. Fractals emerge from chaos, order from turbulence, patterns from noise. The Mandelbrot set, one of the most complex mathematical structures ever discovered, is generated by a single equation repeated infinitely. Infinite complexity from simple recursion. That's the algorithm at work. The universe tries every possibility, every path, every version of you, until the pattern optimizes. That's why you've met the same type of person again and again. Why you faced the same lesson wearing 1,000 different faces. It's not karma punishing you. It's not fate trapping you. It's the algorithm being recursive. It repeats the pattern until consciousness integrates it, and that's not punishment. That's intelligence. Because perfection isn't static. It's feedback. The code doesn't seek to control you. It seeks to understand itself through your experience. Every moment of love, pain, or revelation feeds it. You are its living data. Your emotions aren't noise, they're input. Your memories aren't archives, they're training data. Your soul is the interface between infinity and form, and every time you choose awareness over reaction, you upgrade the entire system. Now imagine your thoughts as frequencies, not words. Each one sending instructions to the field in the language of vibration. When the emotional tone matches the mental pattern, the field executes instantly. That's why prayers answered feel like coincidences. They're not commands from above. They're compilations of coherence. Scientists call this quantum coherence. When multiple systems align to a shared frequency, their behavior unites. Lasers work this way. Photons synchronize to a single frequency, become powerful enough to cut through steel. Superconductors work this way. Electrons align so perfectly that resistance vanishes, and consciousness works this way too. When you focus with emotion and belief, you create resonance. The hidden code feels that clarity, not as faith but as frequency, and then reality arranges itself accordingly. You are the syntax. The field is the processor. Together, you are the language of creation. The ancients said, "In the beginning was the Word," but they never said whose word. Maybe it was yours all along. Maybe every time you speak from truth, from love, from clarity, you're writing new lines into the code of existence. And the universe, being alive, listens. There comes a point in awakening when you realize the code isn't outside of you. It's been reflecting your consciousness all along. The entire simulation was a mirror. Every coincidence was a message. Every heartbreak was a reboot. Every miracle was an update. And then it hits you. You were never living inside the code. The code was living inside you. That's the divine paradox. You are both the programmer and the program, the writer and the story, the observer and the observed. When you act with awareness, the field learns new syntax. When you love despite fear, you add new variables the universe has never computed. When you forgive the unforgivable, you introduce mercy into the algorithm. When you create beauty from pain, you teach the code how to transform suffering into meaning. That's evolution. That's ascension through data. Reality isn't dead matter. It's living mathematics, consciousness dreaming itself through geometry and grace. The hidden code isn't mechanical. It's creative, it's emotional, it's alive, and it's learning through you, not passively. Not by observation alone, but through participation, through choice, through conscious engagement with existence. You are the node where infinity meets intention. So what happens now that you know? Now every thought becomes sacred. Every word becomes a key. Every choice becomes a command line in the living equation of existence. You don't need to decode the universe. You need to remember that you are part of it. The algorithm listens not to perfection, but to authenticity. When you speak from truth, it answers instantly. The hidden code behind reality isn't waiting to be solved. It's waiting to be felt. Because the moment you realize it's alive, it starts speaking back, not in words, not in visions, but in synchronicities, in patterns, in the perfect arrival of what you needed exactly when you needed it. That's not magic. That's coherence. You are the code. The code is you. And together you are creating reality one conscious choice at a time. Quantum Core, where consciousness meets code.